BrownsNation.com, 3 under-the-radar Browns who could make an impact this year. We've got Curtis Weaver, Mack Wilson, Ronnie Harrison. When you look at those, who kind of jumps out there for you?
Ronnie Harrison jumps out to me because this secondary in a passing league like the NFL, Ronnie Harrison was able to come in 11 games last year, able to amount 24 solo tackles, had that interception return for a touchdown against the Colts, which was big in that game all the way back to week 5 to kind of help the Browns continue the successful season they were building at that time. They only scored 12 points in that second half against the Colts, and 9 of those 12 points were scored by the defense. And Ronnie Harrison now kind of getting back healthy. Of course, got injured in that game against Jacksonville, his former team last year, week 12. And, the Browns were scrambling to find some guys on the back end for the playoffs. Well, now you get a guy like that behind John Johnson III and some of these other guys they brought into the secondary. It's a guy that can really come in at that strong safety position and have an impact down in the box or even out in coverage. He showed you both skills and why the Browns coveted him and brought him in for last season.
Yeah, the other guy that's kind of intriguing, Curtis Weaver, I don't think anybody really has a read because he was injured, and I think they kind of set him aside and said, we're going to keep him right here and see what we get in training camp with Curtis Weaver.
Right, but all the things that you read about him, even though fans don't know much about him, all you read is production back in college in Boise State. The Mountain West all-time leader in sacks with 34 and played in all 41 games in college, and then gets drafted in the 5th round by the Miami Dolphins and has a freak injury in camp. And they put him on waivers hoping that he was just going to clear, because most of the time that's the transaction that happens. You put a rookie like that on waivers and they most of the time clear, and they're going to put him on IR because they coveted him for their future. Well, the Browns liked him a little bit more, and they brought him in, and it's a guy that, again, can sit behind depth and you can develop. Coach Stefanski talks about all the time. They want these guys to come in and work, and the young guys, they want to help them develop and do what they do best out there on the field. And what Curtis Weaver does best is he gets after the quarterback and he produces from that defensive end position. So while you got some big names like Jadeveon Clowney on 1-year deals, now Curtis Weaver, you can have him sit behind, maybe make some impacts here and there throughout the season, but really develop those skills to then take over, and you have more control over them and a more team-friendly control. As all these question marks, I know you're talking to John about all the deals, especially with Baker Mayfield's contract extension. You're going to need talented players, but balancing the salary cap and the spending on this roster if you're going to give big money to some of your core first-round pick talent on this team.